Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going over our Unit 2, continuing from our Unit 2. We just did Lesson 4, now we're on Lesson 5, and it is resisting the impulse to cheat. I'm Sawyer, and I have Justin with me today. And so in today's lesson we will learn how to resist the impulse to cheat, and we're hoping to use the problem-solving strategy to resist those urges. So right here is Jeff, over here is Marnine. I'm going to tell you the problem. So Marnine has trouble with spelling. The class is taking a spelling test, and Marnine wants to get a good score. Jeff sits next to Marnine, and he usually gets a perfect score. She is tempted to look at his paper. Now, Justin, what is Marnine's problem?
Well, it sounds like maybe spelling isn't her best subject, and maybe she's kind of embarrassed because she gets bad grades sometimes on spelling. And she's taking a little quiz right now, and she doesn't want to get a bad grade.
And so she's willing to even cheat off her buddy Jeff.
Yeah.
And so what might happen if Marine cheats?
Well, teacher might catch her, and then her whole trustworthiness is pretty much ruined. She's always going to be thought of as a kid that might cheat on a quiz or a test. But she may get away with it and get a good score, and then later on feel bad about it, knowing that she didn't really earn that score.
I agree. If she cheats, she's just really cheating herself out. She's not learning the proper subject or learning how to spell words. What are some solutions that Marine might use to resist the impulse to cheat?
Well, maybe think it through a little bit and think about what the consequences might be, and realize that, be better to try harder and get some extra help if you need to with your spelling, than to take that risk and end up getting caught or just cheating yourself, like you said.
She could also tell herself positive words. Hey, I got this. I don't need to look. I know how to spell these words.
Yeah. At least give it an honest try and give yourself a little bit of motivation. Say, I can do this.
Now, what might happen if she does cheat? Look off Jeff's paper.
If she does cheat,
this is just where a hypothetical situation. So.
Maybe even Jeff would. Maybe he doesn't realize that she was looking at his paper, but if he found out, then maybe that could hurt their friendship. Maybe he doesn't want her to do that and cheat off of his paper.
And then, if the teacher catches, they could both get in trouble for that. And then Jeff would be more upset with him, or her, sorry.
Yeah.
But what are some positive things Marine could say to herself to keep herself from cheating?
Do your best. It's not worth it to cheat. It's not the end of the world to get a bad grade. It's way worse to cheat than just to have one bad grade. And I can learn from my mistakes.
I agree. Those are all amazing ways to just positively reinforce yourself to try to resist the urge to cheat. And then what are some other solutions to Marine's spelling problem?
Spend more time the day before when you know you have a quiz coming up. If you know spelling's a little hard for you, then you need to maybe spend 2 hours instead of 1 hour.
Just study a little bit
practicing.
Harder. Yeah. And then she could also just walk up to her teacher and ask for help, or her parents even.
Yep.
And now, what might happen if the day prior she would have practiced more or asked for help?
Oh, then maybe she would have had less temptation to cheat because she would have felt more prepared.
Felt more confident about the situation.
Yeah.
But what might happen if she didn't study at all and she knew she was going to fail the test?
That would be a scary situation for her to be in, knowing that, oh man, I don't know any of these words. I should have studied and I didn't. She'd probably be beating herself up a little bit and feeling bad. And
feel guilty, have a dirty conscience, I guess, and then even have the higher urge to cheat.
Yep.
Let's go over some steps just to research the impulse to cheat. So what's step one, Justin?
Think about the consequences.
Like, who am I hurting in this? What happens if I get caught? And so on. What about step two?
Well, you need to kind of reinforce and tell yourself, I'm not the type of person who cheats. I'm an honest person, and reinforce that positive outlook.
And then what's our next step?
Well, then you just need to solve the problem at hand. So you're in a situation where you didn't study, then maybe you're just going to have to do it yourself, and then if you get a bad grade, you get a bad grade. But otherwise, put forth your best effort.
You just learn from your mistakes. Hey, next time I got to study harder, be more prepared.
Yep.
So now I'm just going to model Marine and just resisting the impulse to cheat real quick.
Okay.
Oh, well, we could take turns. So she could start off by just telling herself the consequences. Hey, I'm going to fail this. If I cheat, I could fail this test even harder. Just get a complete 0. The teacher would think I'm untrustworthy. Jeff and my friendship could be ruined. What do you think she could tell herself after that? Like, what would be the second step for
her? Maybe just reinforcing that she's an honest person.
Just like telling her once again, I'm honest. It's not worth this.
Yeah.
I need to do this myself.
Yeah.
And then the third one is just solving the problem. So she could ask her teacher for help if she wants to mid-test. Maybe her teacher will let her, or she could just own up to it, try her hardest, and say, hey, at the end of the day, I did it by myself. So now I'm just going to ask you a few, give you a few things. You tell me how you handle the situation. What if a friend would ask you to write a book report for them?
I'd probably tell them that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that because usually people don't get away with stuff like that anyways. That you can tell if somebody writes a certain way all through the year and then suddenly they write a totally different way, then it'll be obvious that you're cheating. Then you're running the risk of hurting my reputation and yours at the same time.
Because everyone has their own diction, so the words you use may be bit different than your friends, or like you said, your handwriting could be completely different.
Yeah, so probably just offer to help them. I can help you write it, but I can't write it for you.
All right. What about if you go buy a chocolate bar at a gas station and they give you an extra $1 for change?
Yeah, I'd probably just make sure that I wasn't miscounting, and I'd count it like one more time and say, don't think you meant to give me this.
And then just give them back the $1.
Yeah.
And what about if you cheat on a math test? Who would you be hurting there, and like what would you do if you wanted to cheat on a math test?
Well, you're hurting yourself, but also other students in your class, because they're actually working hard and studying, and you're just kind of riding on their coattails, and which is not an honest thing to do, because then they're actually not getting as much credit as they deserve, because they should be getting the credit for actually doing the work, and you're kind of taken away from them.
That's a perfect way to just remember, hey, I don't want you on a math test. Because once again, let's go over the steps real quick. You will think about the consequences of cheating. Hey, this isn't good. Who am I hurting? I'm cheating myself out. And
that you might be always known as the kid that the teacher can't trust, and then that could really make for a bad situation between you and your teacher, where maybe it was good before and you like that teacher, and now he or she doesn't trust you. That wouldn't be good. And
then you will just talk to yourself, reinforce, hey, I don't need this cheating. Like, I'm only hurting myself. I need to learn this subject, or I'm honest and I don't want to ruin my reputation. And then the final step will just be solving the problem, really tackling it head on. And just so if you know you need to study more, you will study more. Or if you're taking the test, you can't study more, you go ahead and do it, and you own up to whatever happened.
Yep.
So I think that's all we have today. So today we learned that cheating is never fair or honest, and it causes people to lose trust in each other. We've also learned how to use a problem-solving 3-step system to help resist the urge to cheat. This was our continuation from our Unit 2, and this was Lesson 5, resisting the impulse to cheat. Sorry. I'm Sawyer.
I'm Justin.
And we hope to see you guys next time.